Hello, welcome guys. So we are on PHP installation tutorials. So last time we covered Aptana Studio. Today we are going to cover MySQL query tool. Some lot of you have emailed me and you can't wait to get directly connect to MySQL on your local machine. So we're going to cover MySQL workbench. So to do that again, go to our famous google.com and you do MySQL workbench download. So you click this one and then you have several options here. So depending on your operating system, so most of you probably would choose Microsoft Windows, and then you have 2-3 options. So I particularly prefer this one, MSI installer, because MSI installer has a nice wizard driven installation. You just keep doing next. So you download this and then you install it. So after you install, when you launch it, and install is a pretty straightforward process, but after you launch it, you have to do some configuration to do this. Now this is our MySQL workbench. As you see, it has 3 options. Let me bring the window here. We just launched. Let me reduce the width here. Okay, so I think you can see it. So now MySQL workbench as a full-fledged MySQL tool, it has 3 main things. As you see here, it has just the query tool, which is most of you would be using. Then it has the modeling tool. Now modeling tool is a little bit advanced database work or advanced things. It allows you to create data models. It's more of a designer tool. And then it's server administration, which is basically database administration. So for your local environment, most of the times you'd be using this. Server administration probably is taken care of XMPP, that MySQL start and MySQL stop job, so you don't have to worry here. So you should go ahead and click on new connection. So what we are doing is that we are defining a connection to connect to the database. So every time you have let's see, you have to connect to a database in a machine, you have to use that. So in our particular case, our database is running on local machine, so we can say XMPP MySQL local, or you can just say MySQL local. Okay, so this is our connection name. So that's, you can choose standard TCP IP. You can put host name as this, and then our username for the XMPP is root, and then password is actually blank, so there is no password, so you can leave it blank here, and then you can say test connection. So it has failure. So let's see what is causing the failure. One of the reasons I think is because we haven't really started MySQL. So let's go here and we can say MySQL start. So as soon as you do that, you get this nice little DOS window. It says now we started in, oops, I think we pressed the wrong one. It has FileZilla. So let's go ahead and close it. And let's run FileZilla stop. Okay, so we got rid of FileZilla. Let's now click on this. So once you click here, it says MySQL started. And let's connect this one again. Let's see if it works this time. Yes, connection parameter correct. What that means is that it has been able to connect to the database. So then now you have something called default schema. Now you may not have to fill in right now because you don't know what are the schemas involved. So you say okay. So once you do that, it creates the connection which will be available here in this drop down. So MySQL local. So now you double click it. So once you double click it, opens a MySQL editor, and then it connects to this. And here in this, you have the the databases which are available to this user. So what is this tells you? So it has now connected your MySQL instance. Remember, not a database, MySQL instance in your local machine using the username root. Now here you have, within that you have 3 databases, and which are all coming here. So you can do 2 things. You can choose a default database as test, and then you can do this, click on this, employee. So employee has 3 columns. Now if we do select star from employee, you'll get 3 options. Okay, so now let me just show you some basic simple tips and tricks of using this tool. First of all, this is your MySQL query browser. Now it has other 2 other things which I showed you, data model and server administration, which you don't have to use. Now when you come to this tool, you first should set the default database to test. But having said that, you can also when you do that, when you do select star from employee, it always goes to the default one. But in case you want to look at PHP myadmin, you can still get a PHP myadmin table also. So let's say PMA relation. So we want to query this PMA relation. So the way to do it is that, so select star from employee. Instead of that, you can do PHP. First you have to put the database name, and then you put the PMA relation. So let's look at it. So if you have your default database set to test, you really don't have to add the database name before the table name, because when you do that, it goes always the default database. But if you want to do a select from a different database, then you have to always qualify. You have to put the database name before the table name. So okay, so we just did our select. Our select went fine, but because there are no rows, so we didn't get anything. So that's one thing. The other few neat things you can do here is you can click on a table employee, and then you can right click and do select. You can do edit table data. So if you click on edit, you can directly enter update record here, which is very convenient because you don't have to write the insert statements for simple things like this. And then so after you insert, you just do apply. There's a little green tick mark here, so you apply. So when you apply, it basically runs the insert. Now this is quite convenient because it's almost feels like you're opening an Excel and saving it, and without really doing this lengthy insert statements for the simple data entry. You can also alter the table. You can create table. So if you click create table, then it has a nice little interface. So you first put a test one, and then you go to columns, and you enter the columns. So every time you enter a column, you can choose a data type, and then you go to the next one, and then you can choose. So those are MySQL things which you probably have to look at other tutorials. So my tutorial scope of for this tutorial is just to give you a little intro of MySQL workbench, and not to really go over MySQL MySQL language tutorial or MySQL database tutorial. So let's say we covered installation of MySQL workbench. I covered how to how to connect it, how to use it. So let's see. I think those are the main things you need to know for for setting up your web environment. I mean, it has try to explore that this tool. It has a lot of features really, which as you go deep into the web development, you can use really this tool in a lot of different ways. And I personally feel this is much powerful than PHP myadmin. The only drawback is that it is a local tool. That means you have to install it in your local drive, which which is fine. I think it's worth it's worth the trade-off. With that, let's close it here. And next video we are going to cover other three things, which I think the code igniter is a big part of uh, PHP development or MVC framework. Thank you.